I read 11 books for the month of August, and here are my reviews. School and life was settling down a bit more and wasn't as hectic, so I had more time on my hands. Hope you enjoy the video. So the first book I read was Homo Deus. I picked up this book because I actually read Homo Sapiens. Way earlier, and I had to take a break from this because the content was just so much. But I really loved both these books. I actually have the third one in the series. Oops. I actually have the third one in the series as well. I bought 3 of these as a set. I haven't read this one yet. It's next on my TBR. But these 2 books were so good. I actually made my notes on the first page. I usually make notes on the content page itself, and I usually highlight and make notes or underline them and make notes as I read and go through with it. Usually after I finish a chapter and I feel like there's a lot of things for me to understand and read, I finish the chapter and then I make notes on the front page as well. So since this was a really dense book, I had to manually, as I'm reading the book, I'm actually typing my notes out on Notion, and by making me understand so much about how our future is going to be. It talked about possibly AI taking over, how we've mastered the art of in vitro fertilization. First page. This book is phenomenal. It changes the way you think. So the major takeaways I had from this book, right, it actually talked about the new human agenda, which is the first chapter. It's we no longer have famine, we no longer face diseases like the plague, we no longer have much wars. I know it's still going around. So what else is our new agenda? And is it true that as we solve more problems, I mean compared to our ancestors, we don't have much problems. We don't have to harvest for food, we don't have to go out and do agriculture and farming, because we can just go to our supermarkets and buy it. It's already readily available for us. We have disease prevention methods, we're able to tackle things that come our way. So what is then our new agenda? It talks about how we as a human society are able to be storytellers, how we created beliefs, even money itself is a belief, the government is a belief, religions are belief. They are stories that hold us together and help us form the united nation of people. The last chapter, Data of Religion, and the second last, which is Ocean of Consciousness, these both touch on the topics of automated or artificial intelligence taking over, and I don't want to spoil it, but it's really good. Okay, next on to the second book of the month. This book, Strange Houses, by a Japanese author, was actually translated to English and was going really popular on Book Talk, so I just had to read it. I didn't get a physical copy, but I read it on my laptop as a PDF, and so it's basically you can see there's a layout of the house, and it just describes this layout. And layout is being broken down as a form of a conversation, and the layout of the house actually reveals a lot of mysteries and how certain things are going in the house. And they actually find out that something is really wrong with the family, and they decipher all of this through the layout of the house. So I had to read it on my laptop because it was really hard to read on my Kindle. Just give you a peek. You can see what it looks like over here. Yeah, so as I'm reading, I'm annotating on my laptop. And yeah, there's just some plot twist at the end. I really liked how this went, so yeah, good book. Next book I read was actually on my Kindle. It's called On Wings of Blood. I have yet to recover from any dragon fantasy book. After 4th wing, my hangover was really bad. So I had really high hopes for this one to be able to pull me on my reading slump, which I think it did. I wouldn't say this book is exceptional because I felt the storyline was a bit dragging, but the plot was good and I enjoyed those little romance scenes. Aside from this, I was actually reading I was trying to pair this fantasy book with a self-help one, which is by David Goggins, Can Hurt Me. I was just reading through the first 3 chapters. I was reading that on my Kindle as well, and I read it before bed and stuff. I reached to the point where he's talking about how he has to lose so much of pounds in just 3 months to be able to enter Navy training and stuff. Or was it it was some military training, I can't recall. And after I got through the first part of the book, talking about the abuse he went through as a kid, and how much himself, his brother and his mom really suffered because of his father, and how his father portrays a fake family situation that everything is all and well, that just really affected me because I didn't know, because this is a real autobiography, right? So I felt it was really deep and dark. Although I read thrillers, I just had to take a break from that book, so I DNF'd it. I'm expecting to pick it up in about a few weeks' time. Then my first 5-star read of the month. This was the Mindfck series. This book was absolutely phenomenal. It's a 6-star read for the month of August. I really loved it. I was reading this book everywhere, in the car. I even went to a really cute spot. I went to the Zola the Zal store library, and yeah, I just bought myself really nice coffee, nice drinks. I was just chilling and hanging there. That book was so good. It talks about Logan and Lana. Logan is an FBI who's like who profiles people for a living, and is solving like crime mysteries and like just other problems. And Lana is the serial killer on the FBI case he's working. The way that they love each other, like their love story, how it came about, it just feels so authentic and so real. It is so good. And when you understand things from Lana's perspective, which is a serial killer, I was really able to empathize with her, but I can also accept that she's a bit psychologically scarred. Yeah, so I understand her reactions. The book is just really good. Like every single 5 of the books, right, it ends on like a cliffhanger, so you just have to keep reading. This book was like so good. I literally binged it, and yeah, it was just really on my FYP on my TikTok page, so I just had to try it. I really loved it, and I highly recommend it. The next book I read was yet another fan fiction. I can't get over my Ekota hangover, and I went on AO3 and I downloaded the fiction to my Kindle. I created my own cover using Canva. The book is called A Court of Family Secrets, and the author is Flames and Shadows. I read this book finished, and even though it's like a bit draggy here and there, but the pages of this is like really long. It's equivalent to like a whole book. I think the pages, okay, I can't remember how many pages, but it was like so good, and I felt like every character is portrayed even better, or as is like on par with Ekota series. And I just really love how things reacted, how things changed, and Rhysand and Feyre's like they actually, okay, I don't want to spoil the book, but it basically takes place where Feyre actually finds out that Rhysand has been lying to her, and that Feyre's pregnancy could possibly kill her because she doesn't have the bone structure to give birth to a baby that has wings. So the fact that Nesta told her, and the fact that how this entire storyline plays out, and how even though Feyre is just like 23 years old or less than that, can't remember, and how Rhysand is literally more than 5 centuries old, how she's gonna improve the politics situation, and it's just a lot of like things about politics, and there's like little snippets Flames and Shadows leaves for you for like her sequel. So there's another book which I already downloaded. It's called A Court of Flames and Shadows, where she ships Aerys and Ezreal together. I know it's not part of the original plot, but by the time I read for the 6th Ekota book, I was like, why not just continue reading this? So yeah, highly recommend. Next, after this book, I was like, so if you can't really tell, I'm like jumping from genres to genres. I really love a wide range of books. So I wanted to read books that was like a bit like mind-screwing, that just like leaves me messes up. So again, I went my FYP. There's actually this creator I really like. I'm gonna put her video here and just get out like thrillers or just like wild books. So I literally created a section of wild books, and I have 4. I've read The Anomaly and Dark Matter. The Anomaly is an unbelievable book because it talks about where like passengers in a plane go to a certain country, and on the way there they experience some disturbance, and it so happens that everything is aligned, time is aligned, the plane ends up duplicating into 2. So the passengers are duplicated, everything is duplicated. So the first original plans lands in March, as it should be lah, because the flight is like less than 14 hours I think. The same plane with the same pilot, basically a second batch duplicated, lands again, but in June. So like they're 3 months apart, and just something is wrong somewhere. This book was so good. I really enjoyed it, and it was just like and the thing is, the way it's written is like it's happening in real life. So the way the government is reacting to it, the way the duplicates will be receiving their own citizenship, it's just crazy because it's like very much possible. So you actually follow, at the beginning of the book it was really confusing because I was following like about 5 to 7 characters, so 7 POVs I had to keep up. I had to take notes on my app. I was like, who is who, what happens, who is duplicated. So yeah, it's just really crazy. Next book I read is The Dark Matter. I got it from the library because I know that, you know, I'm really into these kind of like wild books. So oh my god, I zoomed through this. I also listened to it as an audiobook because at this point in time, when I was starting the book, I was really like beginning my internship, so my time in a day was like already reduced. So oh my god, this book. So I've actually been, side note, I know it's not really related, but I've been like researching manifestation. I've been doing it for a long time as well, and like I've been studying quantum physics for a while, and I believe in that multiverses and that there's multiple versions of us, but it wasn't really like something I could visibly understand until I read this. This is just crazy. This is like a different level of crazy. Like I can't even comprehend what's happening in this book. And like the way, okay, so basically the character's name is Jason. So what happens is Jason is a professor, and he has like a wife and a 15-year-old son. Okay, so what happens is on his way to work and when he's coming back, he gets kidnapped. And when he wakes up, he's in a completely new environment where his wife doesn't exist, his son doesn't exist. Apparently he's a renowned scientist. He's no longer a professor, he's a renowned scientist who has like achieved a big level of success. So that's when he finds out there are multiple versions of Jason in a multiverse. It's not a universe, it's a multiverse. Oh my god, and the way he solves it, the way he does everything he can to get back to his wife, and whether he will even make it like screws with me, and that it just had me on the edge of my seat. When I finished this book, like I put it down gently, like it was gonna explode, like it's a live grenade. This book is another 6-star read, and I'm excited to get into other Blake Crouch's books. After this read, I picked up another fantasy book. This one is by Rachel Gillig. It's called One Dark Window. Actually, I really like the fantasy world build-up because there's like 12 Providence cards. Like the magic system here is really unique, and there is a nightmare. So the name of it is Nightmare. This demon, it lives in her head, and she's actually infected with this magic block. So every chapter you go through, right, there's actually like what the card is written. For example, chapter 8 is what it looks like. And you can see the card. So I mostly listened to this book on as audiobook on commute, and I read it on my Kindle. So this is another example of how the card looks like. And I really liked it, and I actually made it to the end of part 2. There's like 3 parts in this book. I made it to the end of the part 2 and then I DNF'd it because my job was just taking a toll on me. I really needed a break. Yeah, so this month I DNF'd 2 books, which is Can Hurt Me and One Dark Window. And there's actually a, oh my god, side note, these golden pages are like so beautiful. Like this book is just aesthetically pleasing. Yeah, so in total I finished 11 books this month, and I actually had another 2 but I DNF'd it. So that is the end of my August reads. I hope you liked this video. And yeah, I really enjoyed each and every one of these books that I read. So stay tuned for my next video where I'll talk about the books I'll be reading I would have read in September. Bye!